All right, so I can't believe I'm gonna take off my Hamsky. I love this rest. This rest is, I will go on record and say it's my favorite rest that I've ever had on any bow, but I'm gonna try this. This is, I haven't opened it, I haven't gone. I'm just gonna do this from start to finish to kind of see how long it takes. And this is the cheaper version of the QAD. I can't believe cheaper is $168. That's what it retails for, 170 bucks. But yeah, the other one is like 250. So this is how this one comes. We're gonna open it up and just see how long it takes and about what you can expect. And I'm gonna try to do it with just a with just this Allen set that I keep in my backpack. So all that is just talking about some features. And bear with me here, I'll figure out how to get into it. I can see the rest they got up here at the top. Looks like they included everything that you need to get it installed. I don't want to. I'm gonna pull on anything I'm not supposed to there. So instructions, warranty, DVD, some stickers if you want to rep the brand. I've tried, I've shot regular QAD rests in the past, and I went away from them. I think, if I remember correctly, I had some fletching contact issues. But we're doing this in the living room for the sake of air conditioning. Looks like a little knife. Pretty cool. This is your dampener material. It's gonna go on the launcher arms, it looks like. And here's your cable set up there. And these look like a couple of plugs to plug something up. So it's got some, it's not, the biggest difference between this one and the one that you pay a lot more for is the micro adjust. So this one, once you get it set and you're just kind of using the marking on the riser, I'll look and see if there is one, and then you're using the hash marks on here for your vertical and horizontal adjustment. It's supposedly got the same drop down, the same mechanism for the launcher arm, but the cost savings, I guess, is not machining in all of the micro adjust. But anyway, so we'll get the Hamsky off of here. Feels a little weird doing this. I'm not saying I'm going to a lesser rest. I'm just saying that I'm going to a rest that has less features. This rest really gives me good arrow flight, and it really gives me good, I have a lot of confidence in it because I shot it for a long time and I shot it on a bunch of different bows. So I don't understand what's going on here. It's got an Allen wrench, it doesn't fit. Come with an Allen wrench that didn't fit either one of these bolts. Feels like it's got spring tension on it. So what I did was, it does have spring tension on here. So I hooked this on first, and then I pushed it over and got the other side. So there's in line with the burger hole, there's a little mark on the riser. I'm just gonna be kind of eyeballing it because to finish out everything, I'm gonna take it outside and I'm gonna shoot it. And I don't really do the paper tune method. I don't know what it's called. I think some people call it French tuning, but you shoot an arrow up close and then you move back and you shoot an arrow further away, and then you move your rest till you get them to where they're both shooting the same. So figure out which one is your down cable. In my case, it's going to be, this is a Mathews V3X 33. It's going to be the cable closest to the riser. It's this one. All I did was pull them back and get a short draw to see which one was moving downward, because the cable that moves downward, moves away from your rest, is going to be the one that actually pulls it into position so that it can begin that let down sequence, which happens when your bow's fired. The unique thing about these rests is it the launcher arm doesn't, I guess there's a little bit of engineering in there that has to do with inertia, because whenever you let down slow, it doesn't take off, drop the launcher arm on you. And what you're looking for is it should pull it into 90 degree. So it's at 80 degrees and then it'll pull it into 90 degrees. And that didn't work. Still didn't work. We're gonna have to tighten it just a little bit. You need enough tension to pull the rest into these little lines meet up, and not so much that it can't slip through there. I'm still slipping. So just keep slowly tightening. Keep slowly tightening this this Allen. There we go. So now we're going to really tighten down on it. Check it one more time. Lines match up when you're at full draw, and when you let down, it's gonna fall away just like it should. But check it one more time. If it has any contact at all, it's gonna be from this vein right here, more than likely. And if anything, I'll have to turn it in. And then you start running into issue of you don't want to hit your roller guard if you're torquing it at all. So people that shoot these QADs that are like Levi Morgan or whoever, those guys, they don't have any problem shooting any rest. People like me, if there's inconsistencies in your form, and if you're not like the perfect archer, you're really limited what rest you can shoot that will shoot broadheads well. For me, that Hampski was one of those. the Whisker Biscuit. There's just a few rests out there that I can shoot my field points and broadheads line up perfectly, and I can shoot both of them interchangeably and not have any tuning issues with the fletching that I like to shoot. I like to shoot blazers. I've tried a bunch of different ones. You'll see, I've got all sorts of different fletching configurations for fletch, but I always end up just coming back to 3 blazers fletched on an Arizona Mini. Arizona Mini puts the most helical you can get on there, and man, just for shooting fixed blade broadheads, I've feel like I've been around the world, and I just keep coming back to the same type of setup. And you know, there's always a new shape or a new color or a new material or something every year that comes out. A lot of sales stuff going on, because none of it's really performance driven. It's all just like stuff that gets off in the weeds on you know, looks preference and stuff like that, but and noise. You know, the only knock on the Blazer is that it's noisy. There's no performance knock on the Blazer vane. It's all things like noise, or maybe people don't like the look of it or something like that. But that steep angle and just the noise is coming from the amount of wind that it's grabbing, which is helping to pull the back of the arrow into true flight. The quieter vanes that I've shot that are really quiet don't help you with your form or help you with a bad shot. The Blazer, for what it does, I mean, yeah, it's a little louder, but it's a good. So I end up finding myself trying to shoot. I try to shoot a rest that will let me shoot the biggest fixed blade broadhead I can, and also shoot blazers. So if that's not this rest, well, then I wasted $170. But I feel like the Integrate system and being able to go to that real tight, I like some of the stuff they're doing. I like this Integrate better than, it's a better mounting system. I don't know if it's a better drop away, but it's a better mounting system. So that's why I'm gonna try it. So anyways, we'll go outside and I'll do a video and on the end of this, and I'll talk about doing the walk back thing. So get your target set up with some sort of line. This is a rubber coated wire, that's why it's kind of squiggly. The straighter the better. A piece of tape is the best thing you could put on here. That way if you hit it, it doesn't matter. But a piece of paracord, a piece of tape, anything that's gonna hang perfectly straight, because you're gonna line all your pins up. If you're shooting a single pin, have your whole pin on this. If you're shooting multiple pins, just set every pin up on this line. And then you're gonna shoot a close arrow and a far arrow, and that's gonna tell you if your rest is inside or out. And I think if you watch the video, you'll have to just search YouTube. I'm not gonna go into a whole video on how to do it, but there's videos out there, guys, that are really good at explaining it. I think you move your sights when you're at the closer distance, and you move your rest at the further distance, and eventually you'll have them both where you're hitting where you want to hit, and both arrows are hitting in the same spot. You know what I mean? So, but basically this will give you a good indication if your rest needs to come in or out. So I'll shoot a couple and just show you what it looks like. So the close arrow is really close. I mean, you're talking, your first one's like 5 yards. And you back up and do it again. Your second one's about 12 yards. You can see here, there's my first arrow. There's my second arrow. So my rest has got to come this way. And then when I get both of these arrows hitting in the same plane, when these are both in the same vertical plane, then I'll move my sight over to where I'm hitting in this same plane, and then I'll do it again. So it's just it's a series of moving your rest and moving your sight until you get both of these arrows are hitting on the same vertical plane, on the same plane as your pins. And from then on out, you're just kind of tinkering with your yardage and tinkering with your sighting in process. And more times than not, whenever I do this method of tuning where I'm getting consistent arrow flight, and you can do this out to 50 yards. You know, shoot one arrow at 10, one arrow at 40, shoot one arrow at 20, one arrow at 50. It's going to give you an idea. The thing about it, the closer you are, the more coarse the adjustments are. The farther you get, the finer you're getting. So these guys that shoot out to 80 and 100 yards, those aren't the type of guys that are worried about their broadhead flight. Their arrow flight is so good and their bows are tuned so good. If you're hitting on, if your left to right is on at 60 yards, if it's the same at 10 as it is at 60, you're gonna have good broadhead flight. A lot of what mechanical broadheads are doing, in bows that are extreme speed, you might have trouble getting your good broadhead flight. But in cases where your bow is slow like mine, I mean, mine's not, I'm not over 300, I doubt, and I'm able to still get good consistent broadhead groups. You start getting crazy speeds, and even a well-tuned bow is going to have a hard time shooting something, because those big fixed blades are trying to steer the arrow from the front, and that's not really what you want. Anyways, this is it's QAD Ultrarest R2. I'm just running the bridge lock sight that they recommend for this riser, the cutout that they put in here. So I'm trying this B reel, or the Ultra View grip that Chris B designed. I really like it so far. We'll see. The only thing I care about is how is this rest going to shoot with broadheads? How is it going to tune?